Guys, it's been so long. Putting me to task to remember these old cards in off-meta week is such an exciting experience. Anothos for 4 coming in. Oldhim got a lot of options. Big hand coming through. Second yellow pummel pitch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back right here to HometownTcg. You guys know me, my name is Josh, and I got a familiar face back with me again.
Hey, what's up guys? Easton or Tealwater.
What is going on, Easton? You have become a channel favorite. The last time we saw you saw a sick Icelander deck tech, and today you are competing in the FaB Competitive Team League in Off-Meta Week. Tell us what Off-Meta Week means.
Yeah, so off-meta week means that we agreed with our opponents this week to do only heroes that were not Viserai, Prism, or Starvo. So everything else is good. So I get to play off-meta Oldhim, which is pretty great because not to like pump it up too much and then get obliterated here in a second, but Oldhim just seems so great without Prism and Viserai to worry about. So, and Starvo, honestly, all those are like pretty close matchups, except for Prism, which is unwinnable. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked to be playing Oldhim today.
Well, dude, so we know what you're on. We know that you're hyped to play him. How long have you been playing Oldhim for?
I've been playing him since his card text got spoiled, basically. I saw that. That's when I was getting into the game. I started on Dash, and I saw that hero, and I was like, yep, that's my main. And so I started brewing as soon as the cards came out for it. I played it at the pre-releases. I was kind of first in my community to start really honing a list, and I was the only one in my community, basically, to keep playing it after everyone kind of wrote him off as a bad hero. Everyone else dropped off. I just kept on jamming him, kept on getting reps, and it paid dividends eventually once he became, the mainstay hero in the format that we know him to be today.
There you go. Well, we got an Oldhim, I guess, stand. Oldhim main. Well, I'm going to go as far as to call you an Oldhim expert here, about to do battle. And if you guys want to learn from the players on Team Ascent, visit us at patreon.com/HometownTcg, and you can sign up for coaching with Team Ascent. They're offering coaching. All proceeds go directly to Team Ascent, and I am buying the patrons 4 coachings in the next 30 days. So I'm buying those coachings and giving them away in the Discord. Visit us again, patreon.com/HometownTcg. And one last question before I tell everyone about how great you are: is there any matchup that you don't want to see when those heroes are flipped?
There's a couple matchups that I would prefer not to see. I think some of the closer ones can be Bolton. Rhinar is probably number 1 on my list of heroes I don't want to see, because depending on how they have their deck configured, they could have a pretty good matchup against me. Yeah, I would say those 2 are the ones I fear most. I'm trying to kind of think through the heroes in my brain right now that are left. I guess Bravo, OG Bravo is also a close one. I've actually taken some losses to that one. So hopefully not those 3. If it's anything other than those, I feel really confident.
All right. Well, guys, let's get into the game. Easton, thank you so much. And the next time we see you will be for the post-game wrap. So stick around after the game to catch up, and we'll find out how you did. But let's get into some gameplay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here, we have the Guardian Mirror match. We have Oldhim and Bravo Showstopper, Tealwater on Oldhim. And as you heard in the pregame, Tealwater saying, I don't necessarily want to see this deck. It's something I've taken some L's to, so it's a surprise. Bravo Showstopper winning the role, picking going first, meaning we almost know we're guaranteed to see tectonic plating here, not really fearing the backlash of something like, some constant aggression getting first arsenal, both players shuffling up. Bravo Showstopper on the play. We're getting to some off-meta gameplay. So hype. Team Kitchen Fable, Team HometownTcg Ascent. Let's get into this bad boy. Bravo Showstopper going first. We see from the difference this week in off-meta week, we are seeing the Mage Master boots dropped for Bravo Showstopper. Making a seismic surge. Dominating on turn 1. There we go. So using Bravo Showstopper to filter the hand, activating Bravo multiple times.
Alrighty.
Throwing a card in arsenal.
I've done a lot of dash though. I didn't know his hero ability was
No
this game, though.
attack.
That's cool.
What a great piece of tech. We're seeing turn one, some old school tech, double Bravo activation to filter the hand. So cool. And like we know before, on the side of Tealwater, our Oldhim player, we're seeing a lot of value. Rampart, Winter's Wail, Crater Fist, and Crown of Seeds. So definitely equipment we're familiar with in the Starvo meta. Pitching Yellow Pummel to Channel Lake Frigid.
And
Turn one.
with a 4 on hit.
So Winter's Wail drop, Channel Lake Frigid drop, turn one of this game. Already taxing our opponent. We're seeing Yellow Pummel in the deck. Yellow Pummel pitched early. Both players knowing this game is going late. We're going to be here for a while, which means we can see this Yellow Pummel come back around in the late game, pitched right next to this Icy Encounter, a valid Pummel target.
Block 3. Any response?
No attack reacts.
I'll take 1 and get a frostbite.
Sure. I got you here.
All right, taking one, getting a frostbite. But as we know, with Anothos, frostbites are not as big of a deal because paying 2 to create your seismic surge, and then 3 to swing Anothos.
So you can feel free to put it back.
Thank you. Okay, I just looked at the bottom card of my deck, which means it's definitely the top card of my deck.
All right.
And I will try not to.
Little bit of
move cards
TTS
around when
error.
it's doing its end of turn function, because that's when it happens. So.
A little bit of TTS there, but we're back into it.
Are you good?
Yeah.
But as we mentioned, the frostbite not as big of a deal with tectonic plating and Anothos here, often pitching 2 blues, having extra resources floating. Seismic surge pops, tear asunder, dropped out 4/5, which means
Hammer should cost me 4, and I'll pitch a blue and have nothing floating.
tear asunder on hammer,
This is,
4/7.
Yeah.
Big attack coming through, dominated attack already right off the bat. 7 tear asunder with a dominate effect. What do we want to do? Now remember, Channel Lake Frigid is out there, so anything we use to block this turn is value we can't use to keep Channel Lake Frigid around next turn. Tear Asunder, a great addition to these Bravo Showstopper decks. Adds a lot of gas, and if we noticed, there's a Tear Asunder in this pitch zone, same as the Yellow Pummel. It's coming back around.
And sink below from Arsenal.
Sounds good. I'll pass Prio.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Blocking for a full 7 here. The 7 block definitely feels like gas. Interesting call here. We do see the Winter's Wail over something like the Anothos. Won't present as much threat on a turn-by-turn basis. Sink Below being resolved will resolve Sink Below, putting 1 to the bottom, drawing 1 off the top.
Sounds good.
Preventing all of that damage and some of the power that these Guardians do. Now you wonder, that Sink Below was seeking a Frostbite card, trying to find that Frostbite card. Did he find it? Channel Lake Frigid on 1 will be going to 2. Need 2 Frost cards here. Ooh.
For an E-Strike, I'm going to choose mode +2, putting this card on the bottom of the deck.
All right, E-Strike for 5, or for 7, coming through. Naked E-Strike for 7. 1 card left, looking to be a possible Arsenal target. Tunic on 2. So remember, in 1 turn, we can turn an Arsenal card into a card in hand for free. Blocking 3 here.
Oh, I think you cut out a little bit. You said no response?
No responses.
Okay. I'll take 4.
Yep, works for me. Channel Lake Frigid goes away. I will Arsenal and pass to you.
So it looks like we weren't able to find that Frost card. However, we have Arsenal card. Assuming if we dug with Sync, we had 1 Frost card. Here comes Hammer for 6. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Arsenal be second copy of Channel Lake Frigid here, but let's find out. Anothos coming in for 6. Part of the value pile that is Anothos in this deck is going to be 2 cards for 6 recurring, coming back for the late game. So we made a Seismic Surge, Anothos coming through for 6. I love the value that Anothos can get in this matchup over something like Winter's Wail, as the on-hit trigger for Winter's Wail, blocking 3, only leaking 1, doesn't matter as much. Teal thinking this one through.
Player. No blocks.
No defense coming through for Teal.
Will
Sink below. Getting a sink below with Hammer here does feel like
not to
great
sink.
value from our Bravo Showstopper player.
Oldhim Ice React to you.
Oldhim Ice React,
Nice.
taking two, but putting that card
Yeah,
on top
I'll
of the
take
deck,
two.
forcing his opponent to play without that arsenal, saying, no, 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 if you want to block this damage, you must use resources from
Pick up for
hand.
me.
Love that Oldhim Ice React in this situation.
Pitch these.
Glacial Footsteps, and coming in for 8, Thunderquake from hand, saying, hey, remember that card I put back on top of your deck? Well, now if you want to use it and not take damage, you gotta drop that card. And Thunderquake here is a great option, as what we're doing is cycling 2 cards back for late game and throwing Thunderquake for 8, trying to peel value. And if opponent wants to swing that Anothos for 6 again, they're going to have to hold 2 cards and leak a little bit of damage. This entire matchup, guys, is a value game, and Oldhim is trying to make use of some of these blue attacks early to leak through damage and get that value.
I'll block 3. Any reactions?
Opponent blocking 3,
I'll take 5.
taking 5, going to 30. Blue attack doing its job. However, Bravo, Showstopper, keeping a 3-card hand with a Seismic Surge pop here. This could be huge.
To make a seismic, and then hammer for 6.
Hammer for 6, and we see that Crippling Crush being pitched to come back around for the late game. Just like the early pummel, that Crippling Crush in the pitch zone to come back around. Anothos, trigger on, coming in for 6. This is going to be a heavy theme here. How much value can Anothos get versus how much value can Winter's Whale get? We see our first
block for
Rampart of the Ram's Head block.
1
4/1.
Tunic.
No reactions.
I will
Second
below.
copy of Red Sink below. Will we sink?
choosing no sync.
No sink, liking our hand. Leaking 1 damage, but we are getting second copy of Red Sink below.
No ice react this time.
Good value from Anothos there.
I chose not to.
They're talking Ice
up.
React, guys, and Ice React can be awesome here.
Well, I need to cast
Oh!
this guy, you know.
Oh no.
And
I
here
need to cast
comes-
this other way of dealing with your arsenal.
Here comes CNC coming through for 3. No defense reactions, but with 3 damage coming, or 6 damage coming through, and a lot of 3 blocks in this deck. The first CNC is not as threatening. It's when we get to the second and the third and even the 4th CNC. So here comes the first one, putting our opponent to task, saying, what do you want to lose to keep that arsenal card? How much do you like it? How much do you love it? And what are you going to do to keep it around? Opponent gonna have to think this one through. Bravo Showstopper does rely a lot, like a lot of these Guardians, on these defense reactions, and this is one of the things that makes CNC so powerful. In a Guardian heavy meta, it can be a rare way to push through a lot of damage. And remember, we saw a yellow pummel early. Now, right now, it doesn't look like there's a way to cast it, but come later in this game, CNC paired with some kind of pummel is going to look threatening. Opponent taking his time thinking about that, and that's the great thing about this competitive league. The option to really think through these blocks. Opponent
When you're
not
sure
liking
Command and
this.
Conquer is going to be really, really good in a spot, it just always seems to be really good.
Opponent proving why Command and Conquer is an $80 card.
I make misplays all the time when people cast Command and Conquer against me.
Command and Conquer coming across the table here. If we
Well,
would have kept
Friendly
Tunic
reminder,
counter,
No defense reactions. Let's start there.
Yeah.
there goes
I'm
Crippling
standing
Crush
this.
and Righteous Cleansing, blocking 6, trading Command and
Not
Conquer
sad
for
to see
a
this go,
Crippling
but you
Crunch
gotta do what you gotta
and
do.
Righteous
That's
Cleansing.
fine. I'm going to Arsenal past you.
And an Arsenal target. Go to end. Command and Conquer getting some great value, but as we talked about,
Alright,
can just be
seismic
blocked with
breaks.
2 cards.
I'll pitch Sink to make another seismic, and then hammer for 4.
Hammer for 4 here, and this is where Anothos can fall short. Rousing Ancients and Sink below stuck in the hand there, so Anothos coming through for 4 damage, meaning this Arsenal target is one of 2 things. It's a defense react, or it's a valuable attack that our opponent did not want to get rid of. So lots of options here, lots of things could happen. We got rid of that Sink, or we got rid of that We got rid of the Crippling Crush. Guys, it's been so long. Putting me to task to remember these old cards in off-meta week is such an exciting experience. Anothos for 4 coming in. Oldhim got a lot of options. Big hand coming through.
4 blocks.
Second yellow pummel pitch.
Activate Crown.
Threatening our opponent, saying, look at these early pummels. You can see them. You know they're coming.
I'll...
Presenting 2 blocks so far. Right now, no pitch floating.
A block for 2.
2 block declared.
Yeah, take 2.
Take 2. No Oldhim Earth React here, meaning a 4-card hand on Oldhim. I think that only means one thing. I think we're going to see one of these traditional Oldhim attacks coming through. And there it is. Glacial Footsteps coming through 4-8, keeping a card in hand. 6 pitch. Terra Sunder, Autumn's Touch, another Terra Sunder. Both players pitching Terra Sunder to let it come back.
No attack.
Glacial Footsteps, 4-8, blocking 3. Taking 5, however,
Personal pass you.
we theorized about this Arsenal target earlier, and that Arsenal target is there, it's ready, it's threatening. And here it comes. Zealous Belting for 5 with Go Again. The threatening Naked 5 can turn into a Nothos for 6, 11 damage turn, keeping an Arsenal target. This is the thing Bravo Showstopper dreams are made of. You love to see a turn like this from that side of the deck, and you hate to see it from the other side. Zealous Belting for 5, facing down our Oldhim player. Lots of thought processes. Would be surprised if we don't see some kind of blocks this turn, but hey, sometimes these Guardian matchups, they turn into slugfests, ladies and gentlemen. Staring down 5 damage here. It's all about
no blocks.
no defense here from the value.
Play Fate for Scene from
We will Fate, and that means we will peek at the top card and we will leak 1 damage. Getting a Fate for Scene off of Zealous Belting is pretty cool.
And then I'll take 1.
Okay.
Leaking 1 damage, but we've got Go Again on the side of Bravo Showstopper.
Then
I
I'll
assume.
pitch a blue to pay 4 for Spinal
Oh, Spinal Crush coming out right now, coming in for 9. No Dominate, but a big Spinal Crush. Zealous Belting into Spinal Crush off of a Seismic Surge is only a 6-pitch turn. Requires 4 cards, throwing 14 damage right at the face of our opponent. How are we going to face up to this Spinal Crush? Definitely going to have to put some thought into here as to how we want to block, what we want to do. Let's see how we choose to handle the Spinal Crush.
Declare a block for 6.
Spinal Crush blocked by Spinal Crush and Terra Sunder, taking 3 damage. These Guardians trading blows early.
Pick up.
Bravo Showstopper will have not a 5-card
Or
hand,
no on hit.
but a Naked Winter's Wail, keeping an Arsenal target with Tunic and Crown, letting everyone know I can turn this Arsenal into a 5-card hand for free. Naked Winter's Wail does get a red Fate for Scene, a trade we're definitely willing to make, and we're going to peek at the top card on the side of Bravo.
I'll put this on the bottom.
We don't like it, put it on the bottom.
Sounds good.
Keep that Arsenal target, enabling Crown, enabling the possible 5-card hand. Passing over to Bravo, 3 cards. What are we going to throw? The last turn was a lot of gas. This can get out of control.
And then hammer for 6.
Making Seismic,
4 blocks.
Hammer coming in
Tunic
for
down
6.
to activate Crown.
And here comes that Crown play. Turning that 4-card hand into a 5-card hand off the Tunic trigger, preventing a damage. Now we get to operate with full information. Do we want to block, or do we want to swing back
I'll
something
no
big?
Blocks, and then I'll, yeah, no blocks.
Yeah, no reactions.
I'll Fate for Scene.
Blocking 5, Fate for Scene, peeking at the top card. What's it going to be?
I'll keep that top.
We'll keep that on
Good.
top.
I will pass to you.
Insane value there off Fate and Crown, taking 1. Bravo does get
5,
that
6,
Arsenal
6.
card that you love to see. left with a 4-card hand after only taking 1 damage. What can Oldhim do?
Pitch this to play Rouse the Ancients, revealing 13 power.
Whoa! Rouse the Ancients coming through. So Rouse the Ancients coming through for 7 and go again. And we know what those cards in hand are. We know there could be an E-Strike for 7 following up Rouse the Ancients, or we can pitch and move into Winter's Wail. Oh my goodness. Unmovable from the arsenal, blocking for 6. Taking 6, leaking 1, but a blue unmovable. Great use of a blue unmovable. And here comes that E-Strike for 7. Second E-Strike we've seen from our Oldhim hero. E-Strike for 7, kind of that breakpoint weird awkward number saying, hey, I want to get 2 cards out of your hand. I'm going to chase them. I'm going to give them to, or you're going to leak some damage. E-Strike for 7 coming across. But Bravo definitely equipped. Lots of defense reactions in this deck. Lots of health, lots of armor. Definitely equipped to hold on to this hand or prevent as much damage as he needs. Very interested in seeing how this one plays out.
I wish I had access to Crown of Seeds sometimes.
Yeah.
Players talking about the value engine that is Crown of Seeds.
That is pretty messed up.
Want to shout out the homie, John Wood. You guys have seen him on the channel. Great friend of mine, player on HometownTcg Ascent. Hopefully get one of his games next week. Did not like Crown of Seeds. Your boy right here liked Crown of Seeds. John didn't like Crown of Seeds. I'm just saying. Block 3, taking 4. So Oldhim leaking some damage, getting that 10 life lead. But Bravo's kept 2 cards, breaking Seismic.
Going to pitch Remembrance to make a Seismic, and then Arsenal Pass.
Go to Arsenal Pass, pitching Remembrance to make a Seismic, saying, I don't want to play it, I want to pitch it, I want that Seismic. And by making that Seismic, almost indicating we have another attack in this arsenal, right? We're holding on to this attack in this arsenal. So what can our Oldhim player do to threaten our opponent? We think they're holding on to an attack. They made a Seismic. They didn't swing with a Nothos. Here comes 6 pitch and Cranial Crush coming through. If Cranial Crush deals 4 or more damage to hero, they can't draw cards during the next action phase. 8 damage for pitching 2 cards. Big Cranial Crush coming through. Now remember, guys, crush effects are on 4 or oops. Hold on, stand by. Some of us can't monitor TTS that great. We broke that. That's fine. I might cut it. I might not. You might get to see it.
My wish list was like, give us 1 more from Everfest, and then they gave us 2 blues that attack for 8. And I was like, all right, sure.
Cranial Crush. Remember, crush effects, guys, only triggered on 4 or more, not on hits, so on 4 or more damage. But that being kind of a breakpoint here, you get through Sink Below, you get through Fate, you're going to get some relevant piece of value. If the opponent has, oh, let's say a Blessing of Deliverance. Cranial Crush.
I need to start valuing my life total a little more.
Sure. So you take 0.
Bravo making a business decision, blocking as much of that Cranial Crush as he absolutely could, ordering our pitcher, going to clean up. Our Oldhim player will keep an Arsenal target.
I'm just going to send the hammer for 4, pitching a Terra Sunder.
And here comes the hammer for 4. The value engine that is Bravo Showstopper is online. They don't like the difference in life, so they're going to start saying, I value my life total. I got to keep control of this thing. However, I can still present 4 while I do so. Block out, present 4. Pretty sweet as far as value is concerned. Oldhim got a lot of choices to make here. And here comes the Oaken Old block. You don't expect to see the Oaken Old block, but you do see Oaken Old thrown down in defense. Maybe both players switching to a value style game plan right now. Oh, second copy of CNC, 1 floating, 1 in arsenal, 1 in hand. This is this is the stuff nightmares are made of. There could be a pummel in any situation. There's a tunic counter floating, and here it comes. The tunic counter pummel. Getting his own pummel, lose a pummel, trade a pummel, lose a pummel, leak some damage, 4 damage coming over the top. You know that play is coming. Wow.
I'll send hammer for 4.
Hammer for 4 coming through, but that's the glory that is Bravo. That's what makes Bravo Showstopper so cool. This blowout turn just happened. We lost a pummel. We got pummeled. Can still throw for 4.
You
can still throw for 4.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like I don't know. I feel like tectonic plating is like magnetized to Bravo. I can't take it off.
All right, we're facing down Anothos for 4 damage coming through. Now we're seeing why the Oaken Old block happened, right? We made great use of that hand. We kept an arsenal target. Anothos for 4 coming through.
Who needs these Oaken Old?
Second Oaken Old block. What is happening? What is this Oldhim deck doing? Second Oaken Old block has been thrown down. Oh my goodness. And oh my god, third Command and Conquer.
That's not telling you I have a pummel. That's just saying I'm playing my next
Third Command and Conquer coming through. Do we have back-to-back pummeled Command and Conquers? Back to back, blocking 5.
I'll pitch this red pummel to play this yellow from Arsenal.
Yellow,
take 4 total.
Yellow pummel on the 3rd copy. And they will discard a pummel. We are trading pummels. These Guardians are just trading pummels back and forth. What's going on?
My pummels, my red ones at least.
Oh my
I haven't
goodness.
seen you pitch any blue ones, I don't think.
Back and forth, back and forth. But just like always, here comes that hammer for 4. All we got to do is keep one hard, get great value.
You are correct about that one.
You probably
yeah.
have remembrance.
Two opponents going back and forth chatting about the deck here. You love to see gameplay like this. You love to see the table talk. But man, these players are playing this value game down to a T. And this is one of the heaviest hitting Guardian matchups I've seen. Anothos coming through for 4. Water definitely trying to evaluate that hand, seeing how we're going to best make use of these cards and then try to push over the top. 4 coming in, no hit effect, no cards left in hand, no pitch floating, naked 4. Now remember, we could be looking at a pummel trick if there was a card left in hand and 2 pitch floating to not only buff the Anothos, but to get this thing up to 10.
Player no blocks, and then I'll just blue staunch this.
Blue Staunch coming out, keeping 2 cards.
I'll go tunic up.
Tunic up, the value engine coming down. Here comes Winter's Wail with no ice, just swinging for 4. Both Guardians kind of tired right now, swinging hammers for 4 back and forth at each other. Now remember, on the side of Tealwater, the life totals may look dire, but Tealwater has blocked with 2 Oaken Olds and has thrown all 3 Command and Conquers already. So the gas could be running thin. Bravo could be looking for an opportunity to get back on the front foot. Winter's Wail for 4 coming in. Hand evaluation being done by both players here. Tealwater looks like he will keep some kind of arsenal target here, barring some weird play that I can't think of. Sigil of Solace? I can't imagine this deck running Sigil of Solace. We see 5 block getting a Zealous Belting and a Crippling Crush, meaning our Bravo Showstopper either wants to throw a Nothos for 6 or keep something for that arsenal. Yep, sending hammer for 4, pitching unmovable, meaning I believe we're going to see another defense reaction thrown into this arsenal to try to feint a late game Oaken Old. Blocking with Spinal Crush. The block in this game has been insane. Both players blocking and losing gas.
2 blues worth to play this
Macho Grande, big Macho Grande. Everybody in the chat, drop a flex in the comment section for Macho Grande for 8 dominate. Big Macho Grande coming through. Not Macho Pequeño, Macho Grande. Ladies and gentlemen, we're flexing, we're showing off, and Bravo facing down that 8 damage dominate.
I don't think I took the 1 from your hammer hit, right? It was a 28 already. I took 1 on your I took 1 on your turn because I blocked for 3. I'm sorry.
Opponent collecting or correcting life totals. Tealwater should have taken an additional 1. Content creators should be on top of those things.
Yep.
8 coming through. There is the Staunch.
Blue.
Yep.
And then also sink below.
Yeah, sinking.
No sinking.
Our arsenaling and Macho Grande getting full blocked. The value of those defense reactions showing up in the clutch. Hammer for 4 coming through here. Time to make evaluation of that hand. Remember, we do have Oldhim defense reactions at our disposal. So this is an option. Oldhim defense reactions at our disposal to force Bravo to keep something out of that arsenal. Now that we don't have Command and Conquers to dig after it, but also the value from a Nothos that can be 4 or 6, depending on a given situation, is really showing up here. The life totals got dire for a second there, but Bravo looking to use this value engine to claw back into this game. Great intelligent play from both players, kind of evaluating each of these hands as they go. And man, like I told you, this Guardian game, they're slugging, they're swinging. It's a wild Guardian showdown. What's it going to be? Oldhim definitely thinking this through, probably has a couple options and doesn't know if it's time to turn on the value engine or if it's time to just take the damage and swing through. Thinking it through, lots of options.
I'll declare no blocks.
No blocks. Liking the hand, saying no blocks, taking a Nothos for 4.
To play this staunch from Arsenal.
Wow, red staunch response
Unless you have another reaction.
coming from Arsenal here.
I'll block it by 3 and then have 2 extra resources floating. How about that for an efficient play?
What is going on? What a weird play. Overblocked the attack by 3, had 2 resources floating, throwing Winter's Wail back at the opponent. I do not know what just happened. What a weird play. I gotta make note. Let's ask Tealwater about that in the post-game wrap. Winter's Wail for 4, sink below coming through. Will be sinking.
Okay. Arsenal pass.
Arsenaling here, Bravo with a chance to jump back on the front foot. Some of those weird off-kilter Guardian hands rearing their ugly heads here. Making a seismic.
Hammer for 6, 2 floating.
And the hammer for 6
I have my 4th
coming
red pummel
through.
in my hand right now. So.
We have seen 3 red pummels from the opponent in various blocks. We have not seen another color. However, a Nothos for 6 fairly threatening itself.
I mean,
What
I
is this
believe you.
going to
Once
be?
you play it, we might have some problems, you know.
That's true.
Staring down an Nothos for 6 after having a very awkward turn, to say the least. Trying to dig, trying to find something to do when you draw these weird Guardian hands can be a challenge. No blocks here. Here comes a pitch.
We'll staunch it.
There's a staunch response
Yeah,
for
that
7.
was awkward, huh? Two
Yeah,
red
it's double staunches, plus the red pummel, but no way to like make use of like the red
Yikes.
pummel and stuff. So yeah.
Talking about that was a double red staunch hand, playing Sigil, gaining 3 life.
First sigil of the game.
First Sigil of the game.
Yeah,
Opponent going
for a
back up to
second, I
15.
sided them all out and was really like concerned because I was taking a lot of damage early.
Yeah.
God, you love table talk like this. Oh, there's the Grandeur pitch. Grandeur creating seismic surge token right there off of nothing. And here comes
This Oakenold.
the Oakenold, the naked last Oakenold.
No fuse.
The last Oakenold, guys. The last Oakenold being thrown. Oh my goodness. For 7, we're out of Oakenolds. We're out of Command and Conquers. Passing to reactions. It looks like we are going to get a red staunch response of our own. Blocking for 7. Keeping that 3-card hand. Throwing an Arsenal. We made a seismic surge off the Grandeur.
I'll pitch to make a seismic and then hammer for 6.
And the hammer value really showing why it's an all-star. Hammer value coming through over and over and over again. Hammer for 6, hammer for 6, hammer for 6. It's getting crazy in here, and the opponent's got 33 cards, so we're looking at 33 cards to 31. Bravo making slightly better use of the efficiency here, throwing hammer for 6. Both players still sitting behind a blockade of armor. Bravo more so than our Oldhim player, and we've seen a sigil revealed. There's a possible 6 life still left in the deck. Oldhim thinking through all the possibilities, all the lines.
Block for 3.
Blocking 3.
No attack reactions.
React both effects.
Ooh, nice.
Oldhim
One.
react, taking 1, triggering both sides. That Pulse of Eisenloft was 1 turn late. Could have been a fused Oaken Old. 1 turn late.
Won't matter. I'm just gonna do another E-Strike for 7.
E-Strike for 7 coming through. Good value here. Going to peel some resources or some life off this Bravo. Card count gonna become relevant as this game goes on. Count of decks, so we will check in with that from time to time. Right now, Bravo, Showstopper, facing down the E-Strike for 7. Digging into the hand, trying to figure out what we want to do. Lots to consider here. Lots of possibilities. No pitch floating. Kept that card in arsenal. Again, Pulse of Eisenloft, 1 turn late. Enlightened Strike for 7 does hit hard. Taking 7, keeping the full hand. The value here being portrayed by this Bravo saying, hey, I've got something big. Hammer for 4 coming through here. So confused as to what is going on. Very confused. Doesn't make a difference.
3 seismic searches this turn. And then gain 3 life also? No. Gain 6 life and an arsenal.
Any number of those things can
Yeah.
be true.
Yeah. I haven't seen the blue pummels. I'm convinced they don't exist.
That's what I want you to think.
Opponents going back and forth. Little table talk starting here. One of the awesome things about this competitive league. Definitely an awkward play. Going to put our Oldhim player to the test. Read through the possibilities. What could it be? What could it be? What could it be? Guys, I'm confused with what it could be. I have no idea. I don't have these deck lists ahead of time. I'm like you guys. I'm watching as we go.
Yellow pummel to activate crown.
Yellow pummel, crown activation, 1 to the bottom, drawing 1 off the top. Getting full information before we make any decisions. 1 pitch floating. We'll definitely see a rampart block here.
Block for 4 total here. Sorry,
No attack
five
reactions.
total. That's okay. 5 total.
Oh yeah,
that's
no
okay.
worries. You're good. You're good.
5 block
No
here.
attack reactions. Any defense reactions?
No defense reacts.
Okay. I will close the chain and then double sigil.
Nice.
Double sigil,
Hoping not to get
gaining
ice reacted over here.
6 life.
Good job. Good job. Well done.
And then I will arsenal pass.
Double sigil, gaining 6 life, playing his way around an awkward hand. Big shout out to the Bravo Showstopper play. Definitely gave us kind of a run for our money there. And here comes a Righteous Cleansing of our own for 10. Righteous Cleansing, a Guardian attack from crew with a crush effect where if it deals 4 or more damage, look at the top 5 cards of the deck, banish 1 or more cards with the same name.
5, 6, 7.
So we got to get to 7. Taking 3, we get the first armor block of the game, Skullcap and Crater Fist coming through, but Bravo Showstopper keeping resources. This card is high value in decks that run a lot of the same card.
Blue pummel.
Oh, there it is.
There it is, Blue Pummel for the Tome.
To see if I missed a blue pummel pitch.
The
No, you
Tome
didn't.
of Findel play coming
So
through.
I'll cast Tome, draw 2, and gain 4.
The life gain for OG Bravo coming through, gaining 4, having
Then
another
I
action
will
point.
make
4 cards in hand. 4 cards in hand, gaining 4 life, staving off this Oldhim damage. Life gain OP, ladies and gentlemen. Now remember, late game Bravo Showstopper being able to trigger dominate on any given moment can have such high value. It can be insane. You'll love to see what it's going to be here. The Tome of Findel play with Mage Master Boots could be exactly what we need to get back in this game. Opponent thinking through all possible lines. Bravo Showstopper been fending off this damage like an absolute champion. Interesting to see how this turn plays out. 1 floating. Makes a seismic with the 1 floating.
Cast disable, pitching 2 blues.
Dis-
I'll have 1 floating.
Able coming through. Disable means if it deals 4 or more cards, they put a card from their arsenal on the bottom of their owner's deck. Now, this is a pure value play as there is no arsenal over here. However, life totals matter. This this Bravo Showstopper has shown that he will gain life. He will get back what he has lost. So you'll love to see a play just like this. 7 damage coming through. Oldhim with some decisions to make 1 card in hand. Ice React possibly on the table, but we'll have to take some damage for it. I expect to only see an Ice React here in bad hands. The block for 6 will come through.
Ice React to you.
And then Channel Lake Frigid Ice React to put that card back on top of the deck.
Take 1.
Yep, I will pass.
Channel Lake Frigid going back in the deck. Disable block, taking 1. Tunic goes to 1. What did we keep? Did we keep an Arsenal target, or is it just time for the standard Winter's Wail? Oh, it's time. Winter's Wail 4/4. Coming through, presenting that consistency, keeping these cards, keeping these decks at close life totals. Let's do a deck count check. We have 27 cards to 29. The Oldhim deck has pulled ahead in card count, has made great value and great use of their resources, pulling ahead, putting Bravo to test with less life and less cards. Bravo's going to have to dig for some kind of attack to push something over the top and gain tempo. Blocking 4, using the last block on Skullcap, losing a Spinal Crush. However, with Seismic Surge popping, we are going to see something big.
And then Hammer for 7 with on it.
And there it is, Hammer for 7 with an on-hit effect of discard 2 cards coming through. Now, it's not put 2 on the bottom, it is discard 2 cards. And this is a great tool to kind of get those deck sizes back closer to one another, to really eat at your opponent's hand and possibly leak through some damage. Because with the life discrepancy, our Bravo Showstopper is playing for the end of the game. Another Yellow Staunch. Yellow Staunches have lined up great in this game with their opponent's attacks, much to the dismay of each other, I'm sure. And here comes that value. Again, we've talked about the value engine all game. The Winter's Wail value for 4 coming across, and as that life disparity grows, Winter's Wail gets more and more threatening. Bravo got to make evaluation of these hands, probably digging for an Arsenal, a Seismic Surge, and some kind of big attack to get him back in this game.
Block 3, any response?
No attack redux.
Take 1.
Arsenal pass.
All right, leaking 1 damage, keeping that 3-card hand. Have we found something, or are we looking to keep an Arsenal?
To make a seismic,
pitching the Crippling Crush for late game.
Hammer for 6.
And the Hammer for 6 coming through again. A Nothos value showing its face. Again, it's been a couple turns, but a Nothos value coming back in. And more importantly, Rouse and Crippling Crush pitched together to try to come back around together in the late game. But to make that play possible, our Bravo player is going to have to make the absolute most of their remaining life total, keep that life total nice and high, and hold to be able to make that play. 6 damage, facing down 6 damage, 1 card in hand. Taking the full 6, a Nothos value coming through, but Oldhim keeping a full hand and a Tunic counter. What could this be? We've pitched some yellow pummels coming around early. I assume we're going to see them late. And here comes Macho Grande. 2 floating, dominate for 8, and ladies and gentlemen, we didn't see a Crown of Siege trigger. I can almost guarantee I know what that final card in the arsenal is. Opponent believes it's a yellow pummel. Commentator believes it's a yellow pummel. It only makes sense if Oldhim believes it's a yellow pummel. Staring down 8 damage. Big damage coming through.
Requires a lot of equipment to play around if I do. Don't have any Okins. Alright, I'm gonna give you 3 and... no, hold on.
Opponent lining up blocks. Debating the Crater Fist block. 8, dominate.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 3 and go to reactions.
Sure.
I'll Fate for Scene. And this on top. Any attack reacts?
Now Teal's got to make a call. He's gotten equipment. He's seen a defense react. He assumes there's one in Arsenal. Does he hold pummel for the next attack? He traded resources. He did trade some life to make this play. Does he hold pummel for something else, or does he use it now? This is the mind game, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it can get absolutely wild. He's blocked with one from hand on a dominated attack if that card in Arsenal is a defense reaction. Tealwater holds the possibility of a pummel. We don't know for sure. Holds, does not attack react, puts his opponent to task. Says, do you want to take one? We don't know if opponent has disconnected from voice in this session, if their mic has dropped off. I will pop into chat.
That you heard me.
Oh, no, I didn't hear.
I said no attack reacts.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. There was a miscommunication.
Sorry.
Opponent didn't hear. They will take one. All right. Getting through Crater Fist, but Seismic Surge popping.
breaks.
Bravo, Showstopper, a chance to get back on the front foot. Do we see a Crippling Crush here? Crippling Crush could be huge. We saw him pitched earlier. We know they're coming back around. Do we finally see our
I'm gonna make
Crippling
another
Crush?
Seismic, and then Cranial Crush for 8.
Cranial Crush for 8. Now,
This is actually active.
now Cranial Crush
4 blocks.
costing
Use
6, but able to make a Seismic off Seismic Surge here.
Tunic to activate crown.
Activating Crown, turning this into a 5-card hand. We've talked about that value over and over again in this game, turning this into a 5-card hand. Both players got to pay attention to deck count at this point in the game. It is 23 to 23. Both decks looking at 23. 2 cards going back into the Bravo deck. So it looks like we've got a close one, ladies and gentlemen. What's it going to be? 5-card hand. Don't want to take a ton of damage if we can avoid it. What does our Oldhim player look for here?
I'll block for 1, and then I'll blue staunch for a total of 7.
Blocking 7, Cranial Crush doing 1.
18.
Sounds good.
Doing 1, keeping a 3-card hand, looking to make the most of this endgame, pitching that Rouse the Ancients, definitely going to try to go wide to close this game out. And here comes the the Winter's Wail with the Frostbite hit trigger. Oh, this game is a grind. Winter's Wail coming through for 4, doing its best to make itself known, saying, hey, I'm a value engine too, Anothos. It's not just about you. Winter's Wail is here to rear its head.
Oh no, is this where the yellow pummel was? And I just remembered one turn early. Yikes. I always do this to myself. I like vaguely remember something that was pitched, but not exactly where it was, and then I live in fear of it forever.
Hey, kudos to you for keeping track of your opponent's pitch, though.
Opponent
what cards you have
in the
there.
tank thinking about the yellow pummel. Is yellow pummel coming back around? Seismic Surge on the side of the opponent. We know they want to try to get tempo back, but it is 14 to 18.
Reactions
Sure.
and sync.
It was a defense reaction in Arsenal. We do opt to sync.
I will red bubble.
All right, I will take 4.
Red pummel coming through, taking 4.
Nice.
We get a sync below. We do use the red pummel.
Yeah,
The
you did take
yellows-
4, though.
Yeah, I took 4. I was on 14.
Yep, opponent did take 4. Seismic Surge pops, but there is a Frostbite token, which could make for a weird interaction here on this turn. Frostbite token here can make things awkward. Luckily, these Guardian decks playing tons of blue cards really have the opportunity to play around these tokens. Now remember, early game, both players did pitch Terra Sunder, but our Bravo player pitched Terra Sunder
I'm
a
going
little bit
to
sooner.
Make a seismic, which will cost me 2 resources.
1 floating, make a Seismic Surge. Frostbite does pop.
And then I will cast Terra Sunder.
There it is.
I will hammer.
Hammer for 7 off Terra Sunder. Here it comes. We knew the Terra Sunder was pitched, and 2 Terra Sunders for our Bravo Showstopper were pitched early, so this is coming back around. So the second Terra's coming back around. This Terra Sunder is here. How do we mitigate this damage?
I'll declare a block for 5 and then Earth React you.
Alrighty.
Full block with Earth React, using a counter on Crater Fist, using up all those resources. Our Oldhim player trying to get as much value out of this turn as possible. And we will go, I expect to see a Winter's Wail swing here. There it is, Winter's Wail for 4, Rouse the Ancients going back into the deck. And again, deck size becoming more and more important. We're staring at 23 to 20, but it's about even as one player has drawn more.
Nope.
Sounds good.
All right, leaking 1 damage, going to 9. We have our first Guardian in single-digit life totals at 9. Do we see second Terra Sunder here?
Seismic.
Make a Seismic.
And hammer for 6 with 2 floating.
Hammer for 6 with 2 floating. We know Blue Pummel is in the deck, but Blue Pummel doesn't buff a lot to be afraid of, and off just Hammer already coming in for 6 is not really something to worry about. If they use that resource to come over the top here, it can happen.
20 minutes.
Players talking about this game is a grind. I, as the commentator, would love to get up and stretch right now, but that is not an option. I gotta stay locked in with you guys and watching this Guardian v Guardian off meta slogfest. Channel Lake Frigid block coming through. Leaking 3 damage, blocking with Channel Lake Frigid, keeping a 4-card hand. Tunic going to 3. What is happening right now? Any number of things could be going down at this moment. The third Macho Grande, the Dominate, the Flexi, the Sexy Macho Grande coming out of Arsenal for 8. What a valuable blue to have in these decks. A good, decent Arsenal target in the late game. No pitch floating, so we know if this is a yellow pummel, it's likely an Arsenal target and not a threat this turn. But at 9 life, that doesn't mean it's not a threat later in the game.
That's correct.
Opponent checks floating, does the kind of the same analysis you and I are doing right now. 8, Dominate, coming across the board. We've seen all the staunch responses, I believe, of the red variety, but we'll see.
And red staunch for
With
7.
I'm so wrong. We have seen third red staunch now pitching blue staunch to red staunch. Wow, red staunch is lining up on both sides of this affair in a great way.
Make another Seismic and hammer for 6. 2 floating.
Hammer for 6, and now the Hammer for 6 engine is fully online. Hammer for 6, Hammer for 6, Hammer for 6. It's something we need to get familiar with hearing because we are going to hear it a lot. Oldhim has to evaluate these hands, hand by hand play, and knowing what's coming back around in your deck through your pitch becomes so important. And what's even more important is we stare down this Bravo Dominate ability. Bravo being able to dominate on command if Oldhim can't keep pressure can be a candidate to close out this game. One more thing to keep in mind, our Bravo player recently pitched a Crippling Crush to make one of those Seismic Surge, which means that Crippling Crush is coming back around. His challenge, can he keep his life total high enough to keep enough resources to dominate that Crippling Crush and do enough damage to close this out?
Block for 3 and then Earth React, taking 1.
Blocking for 5 while keeping a card in the deck. Going to head and going to check card counts 17 to 19. Both decks still so close.
For 4 on hit.
And here comes the on hit. Winter's Wail value, not as great, not as relevant as Bravo Showstopper, but here comes the 4. The hit effect could be relevant on a turn we're trying to Crippling Crush and maybe trying to tie that Crippling Crush in with a blue pummel. It'll be interesting to see what we have going on here. If we keep a whole hand, if that Arsenal target is a blue pummel, we can Crippling Crush and blue pummel after taking the Winter's Wail, but is that enough? Does that get us back in the game? Block 3, moving to reactions.
Yeah, I'll come in with a red pummel. Trigger Grandeur.
Here comes the unmovable play, making a Seismic Sash.
Right, and you're at
8. Yeah.
And that will turn off the pummel. What a play. Grandeur coming back around, making a seismic surge, possibly making this next Guardian hand easier to play.
I will.
And I believe we're going to see make seismic.
Darn.
We pitched that blue pummel.
I'm going to check something. Sorry.
Okay.
We pitched that, or we made use of that blue pummel with pitch on the side of Bravo. We're holding on to that. What do we have next?
Yeah, I'm going to make a seismic and then hammer for 6.
Hammering for 6 here. Bravo showing why he is a value engine. Everyone definitely hung up on some of these new heroes, on Bravo Star of the show, on Oldhim even. But Bravo, OG Bravo, showing you we can be a value engine. We can get the most. We can squeeze the most juice out of this orange. Lots of attacks left in the deck, and that's something to keep in mind. Bravo gets to pitch these big 3-cost attacks and then be able to come back around and dominate them late game to chip damage through and close this thing out. Seismic Surge pops,
Plus the surge for 8.
and Cranial Crush coming through for 8 off the Seismic Surge created by Grandeur. That yellow pummel pitched right next to that icy encounter yet again.
Nope.
Take 2.
Okay.
Take 2, opponent going down to 6, but keeping those critical 2 cards that will be needed to turn back around and say, you know what?
Breaks, I'll hammer for 4.
Anothos for, hammer for 4. Assuming we have a defense reaction sitting in hand, could be blue unmovable. Blue unmovable was pitched early. Good arsenal target here, and a reason to hold back. Anothos for 4, staring down a 5 life total discrepancy. Blocking 3, leaking 1, going back and forth. And I would bet, ladies and gentlemen, I would bet a good amount of money that I'm looking at blue unmovable in that arsenal slot.
We'll go Terra Sunder into Winter's Whale on hit.
Terra Sunder for 5 on hit.
5.
However, if I'm correct, ladies and gentlemen, put in the comments now, make your prediction. Is Josh right about this arsenal target? Pitching a blue. Ladies and gentlemen, he still got it. Blue unmovable coming through to peel that Terra Sunder away from our opponent. Keeping enough cards now. Again, the value engine of Bravo. Making a seismic. Hammer for 6. Keeping a card in arsenal. Make a seismic. Hammer for 6. Make a seismic. Hammer for 6. Make a seismic. Hammer for 6. This is feeling like a theme, guys. A theme, ladies and gentlemen. This game is going to come down to the wire. Doing a card count check, 13 to 14. Cards fairly even for both players. Deck size fairly even. We've used so many valuable resources. It's so hard to track on each side of this equation what's been used and what hasn't been used. Oldhim evaluating what's going on in the deck, evaluating what he's got left, and Anothos. If this game comes down to nothing but a pitch grind, Anothos makes such efficient use of the cards in hand. This could get scary for our Oldhim player. Have a tunic counter available, staring down 6. It looks like we're debating taking 6 damage.
Tunic for Rampart, Thunderquake, and yeah, I'll block for 4.
Blocking for 4, staring down old
Oh, Ice React.
and Ice React. Put that card back on top of your deck, sir. No arsenal. Go to 2. 2 life difference in this grind fest.
Tunic up. 4, no on hit.
Oldhim swings 4, no on hit. Winter's Whale trying to keep up, doing its best to be that value engine. But all we got to do as Bravo is find that dominated attack. We have to dig for it. We have to find it. We're digging deep into the deck. Bravo Showstopper looking like an MVP here, keeping up with these Tales of Aria heroes, playing this absolute slogfest to the best of his ability. Both players at the absolute top of their games. Love to see that this game is coming down to the wire. Both players in the tank.
No blocks.
Doing life totals check.
No blocks. I'm gonna block 1. Any reactions?
No attack reacts.
I'll take 3.
Opponent taking 3, blocking with the second block on tectonic plating. Going to 3, arsenaling this card. So definitely looking to throw something meaningful.
I will pay 6 for a crippling crush.
Here comes the crippling crush pay. No dominate here, so we're looking at a red in hand. Looking at like no dominate here. Crippling crush, no pitch floating, no dominate, 11 damage. But what this can do is this can change the tide of number of cards in the deck. This can turn that tide right around and say, hey, I now have more cards in deck than you. If you block out with hand, I trade 1 card for 4.
Rouse.
I get further ahead.
Before blocks to activate Crown.
Okay.
Activating Crown of Seeds here. We haven't seen as many Crown of Seeds activations as you would like, but we are activating Crown here. We'll prevent 1. Crippling Crush sitting at an effective 10. Remember, we have to take less than 4 to turn off the Crush effect. Crippling Crush, after block from Rampart, sitting at an effective 9. Effective 6. We know the Icy Encounter and Pummel are coming around somewhere. All right, effective 4. So blocking for 1, 2, 5, 6.
So currently I'm covering up 1, 2, 5, 7.
Blocking for 7.
Earth react.
And Earth React from Oldhim, 9. Look to take 2 here.
Yeah. I will close the chain.
And is it third copy of Sigil of Solace? Nope, not third copy of Sigil of Solace. We moved to Arsenal. Oldhim able to keep 2 cards, but did leak some damage. Here comes Winter's Wail for 4. I would not be surprised to start seeing block 2 cards, throw a Nothos for 6. Block 2 cards, throw a Nothos for 6.
I'll block 3. Any reactions?
Nope.
Take 1.
Block 1 card, keep some gas. Did we pitch a second Crippling Crush side by side that I missed?
Make a Seismic. And then Hammer for 6, 2 floating.
Hammer for 6, 2 floating could be that mystical copy of Blue Pummel coming back around. Hammer for 6 coming down. Blue Pummel threatening possible 2. The way the opponent says 2 floating makes me think one of 2 things. You got Pummel, buddy, or you're trying to make us think you do. You'll love to see players like this really just slogging it out, really thinking through every turn. What a game, guys. This is the beauty of games like this. We've been going for a long, long time.
Trigger. Seismic.
Okay.
Crown of Seeds coming in. Grandeur pitch. Drawing up a card here. Preventing the next 1. 2 pitch floating. Seeing a block from Rampart. Blocking 2 of the 6.
I'll do a block for 4.
Blocking for 4.
No attack reactions.
I will hold him for both effects.
Both effects on Oldhim. Put the card back on top of your hand.
Back on top.
Sure, that's 6.
And the entirety of the damage has been prevented. 2 cards going back into the deck for our Oldhim player, ordering that pitch. Bravo drawing up.
Surge pops.
Quick deck
Or
count,
non-hit.
10 to 12. Winter's Wail coming through. No on hit. These totals are so close. They're so close, ladies and gentlemen. So close. Now remember, we're looking at Tunic with Crown of Seeds. We have an opportunity to take a 4-card hand, turn it into a 5-card hand. Winter's Wail, much more threatening when at 2 life, but can use 1 card to block this, stay at 1, and still threaten that blue pummel that the opponent has been feinting for a couple turns now. Opponent's been feinting that blue pummel.
I'll block 5.
We will block 5, getting 2 cards. There is a blue
Yeah,
pummel.
attack X. Arsenal pass to you.
Alright.
Seismic Surge
breaks.
pops.
I will hammer for 4.
Hammer for 4. If this doesn't scream blue pummel, I don't know what does. Hammer for 4 coming through. Can easily buff itself up to be 8 with a blue pummel. If one of those last 2 cards is a blue pummel, this can be a hammer for 8 out of nowhere.
I'll block for 2.
No attack reactions.
I'll Earth React for the other 2.
Okay. I'm gonna remembrance.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Opponent
Grab.
with a clutch remembrance from Arsenal, getting 3 action cards. Wow, that could be the difference in this game. Being able to throw some cards back in the deck and hand pick what action cards you want could be the difference
Problem is I'm
in
never
this
gonna
game.
actually be able to cast these cards. My life total is too low. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if this is anything worth doing. And then grab.
Opponent
We'll grab.
definitely thinking through options. When it comes to picking these cards, you have to consider life total. To throw this crippling crush, you're going to have to take some damage, and being at 2 is not an option.
Put these guys back.
Grabbing Terra Sunder to go back
I don't
into
know
the
if this,
deck.
Toma Find All idea is gonna work. But
So opponent grabbing Crippling Crush,
Good idea.
Toma Findel,
Arsenal pass.
and Tear Asunder. I think Tear Asunder is a great target here. Now, guys,
2
this,
black out of my deck.
ladies and gentlemen, there is the Icy Encounter. And remember, this Icy Encounter was pitched with a yellow pummel. Icy Encounter coming through 4/4. Does the opponent remember these cards being pitched in tandem so many turns ago? So much value here.
These 2 blocks out of my deck then in exchange.
Opponent blocks for 2. Here is the attack react. Here comes the defense react to feint the yellow pummel. There it is. Opponent and Oldhim trading resources. Great play all
I'm
around.
gonna hammer for 4.
Hammer for 4 coming in. 11 cards to 7 on the side of Oldhim. We'll be drawing up. Oh my goodness. It could.
Draw the Macho Grande and I just die.
I'll block. I think I played all of them. Maybe
Okay.
maybe they're still. I'll
Block
just-
and Oldhim react.
Sounds good.
4/4. Uh-oh. Tunic going to 1.
4.
Pitching Rouse the Ancients, looking to swing for 4. Can constantly block 2, throw 2. I believe the deck count is in the favor of
Block 3.
our Bravo player.
Take 1.
Taking 1, going down. Does he find Tear Asunder here? He just shuffled in a Tear Asunder. Does our opponent find
Oh, yeah, take 1.
Tear Asunder?
I'll cast Terra Sun.
He does! Finds Tear Asunder, throws a Nothos for 7 dominate. 7 dominate coming across. Now, luckily, we do have some access to equipment on the side of Oldhim. I would have loved to see all Tear Asunders just shuffled back into the deck from the opponent instead of the Crippling Crush play, but the opponent knows his deck. He knows what he's looking for. We are digging. Dominate a Nothos.
Block for 1, and then I'll pulse up to 7.
Blocking for the full 7, playing the
Sounds
pulse.
good.
Blocking for the full 7, using Rampart, keeping 3 cards could be crucial. That Arsenal target, a valuable target, as Crown of Seeds was not triggered. Pitching Grandeur. Oh my
Seismic
goodness.
Surge.
Seismic Surge made. Here comes Naked for Winter's Wail.
Oh, man.
Does opponent believe in yellow
I don't know
pummel?
what that graveyard check is for.
Does opponent believe in yellow pummel? And even if he does, is there a way out of this
I
scenario?
believe strongly that if you do have the last yellow pummel left in the deck, that I'm gonna die one way or the other. So my only out is if you don't have it, and it's okay if you do, because then I lose.
Opponent.
You're blocking for 6.
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to.
The yellow pummel coming out, attempting to pummel, and that will close it out, ladies and gentlemen. What a game. Oh my goodness. Here comes the crippling crush coming back around. The yellow pummel closing this bad boy out.
Yeah,
What a game.
I think that card is...
Stick around, guys.
A little bit
Let's get to the
unplayable, to be
post-game wrap
honest.
with Teal Water. I'm sure he
Yeah,
is
it's
just
just,
out of energy. If you're still around in this game, you're a
Oldhim,
true lover of
uh,
some of this
actually
gameplay.
didn't do a lot
Let's
of
talk to
play
Teal.
skill.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-game wrap-up. And what a wild game, dude. That was a slog. How are you feeling after that one?
Yeah, man, I gotta go take a nap, take a shower, just get some food. I gotta refuel after that one.
Well, it was a long game, and you said in your pregame interview that you're like, I don't necessarily want to see Bravo Showstopper, and they flipped Bravo Showstopper on you. So when you saw Bravo Showstopper face up, flip over on the table, what was going through your mind? What were you thinking?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played that matchup, but I would say, historically speaking, I go pretty close to 50-50 against it. It's really quite tough. It's a Guardian Mirror, so even though I was kind of dreading it, I also was kind of happy to see it because, come on, Guardian Mirrors are great. At least I think so. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but I really enjoyed it. I have played against Bova, my teammate, quite a lot on that. He actually played Bravo just right before this, and he got the W on his match as well. And so I've had a lot of experience playing against that matchup, and thank goodness for that because that was a tight one.
Well, man, I think both players played awesome, and the game came down to a deck count and the size of each Guardian deck, and then there was a play where your opponent drops Remembrance, and I know that you have a lot of strong feelings on this card. What was going through your mind when you saw Remembrance, and what's the reason that in that mirror you don't run the card?
Yeah, I don't run it in my list. It's hard to find space for it, but I just think it's a kind of an awkward card for the matchup because it's all about pitch stacking. So you need to basically do like one of a couple things. You need to either play it as soon as you draw it for the first time and then say, I'm only going to start pitch stacking after I play it, in which case you might not have your graveyard fueled. Or you're going to pitch it in your first cycle and end up drawing it in your second cycle when you should be putting on the heat because that's your pitch stack, right? And then by that point, if you are trying to put on the heat, sometimes you have to just like pitch it again, or it might not be awkward. It might be awkward to cast it on that time, depending on at what point in the 60 card deck you drew it in your first cycle. And then if you draw its third cycle, it's just like too late to get these really relevant reds that can actually swing the matchup anymore because your life totals are just too low. So for me, I think it kind of conflicts with the pitch stacking style of that matchup, and that's why I've never really been big on it. Plus, it's just a no block. Hate those things. I say as I was pitching Grandeur over and over again that match. But yeah.
Well, it was cool to see Grandeur get some value. So you hung in there on this slogfest awesome game. You come away with the win, and all you guys from Ascent are starting to get some fans on the channel. People are starting to comment on your guys' videos and be like, oh, I like this player. So if you got a couple fans out there, if you got a couple people following Teal Water and his Ascent journey, what do you want to say to the couple people out there watching you that are looking for these gameplays? What do you want to say to those people out there, man?
I guess I can just selfless plug myself and say that I am still taking on coaching clients, and as I said at the start, I've been playing Oldhim for so long, and I'm really passionate about that hero. I get really excited when I talk about it, and so if anybody out there is looking to level up their Oldhim game, I'm here to help you in that journey. And I also think that with Starvo on the potential Banhammer or Living Legend out, or anyway, we're gonna hit a Starvo-less meta, which is gonna mean that Prism loses some of their bad matchups, and I think Oldhim is primed to kind of come back strong. So it's a good time to be picking up the hero, I think.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first, and I'll be buying patrons 4 coachings this month and giving them away randomly. So if you want a chance to win a coaching, or if you want to just get in the Discord and book one yourself, visit us at patreon.com/HometownTcg. Again, one more time, all money that's paid for coaching goes directly in the pocket of the coaches and of Team Ascent to help them fund their awesome journey. And I gotta say, I'm lucky to partner with such an awesome group of players and such an awesome group of people in this community. I'm proud of you guys. Congrats on getting the win. And until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh.
Hey, I'm Tealwater. Don't add more reds. Believe in the blues.
Believe in the blues is the method of Tealwater on this channel, and we will see you around.